You've got all of your centers ready to go, but they're not organized. You're looking at this pile of centers and you're wondering, how will I ever keep up with all of this? In today's video, I'm going to share with you some tips and strategies on keeping your centers organized. Stay tuned. Welcome back, Educational Rockstars. I'm Farah from Farah Henley Education, where I strive to bring you actionable tips, strategies, and simple systems to take back into your classroom to make your teacher life a little easier. And today we are going to be talking about organizing your centers. Now, if you are new here, please take a moment to like and subscribe so that you get notified when we go live or upload a new video here on the channel. Also, if you know a teacher who would love to know about organizing their centers, make sure you tag them down below or hit that share button and share this video. You can share it on all the social media platforms, or you can send it to them through an email or a direct message. Now, organizing your math and literacy centers is something that I think every teacher needs to have in place before the school year begins. But if you're getting started with math and literacy centers, or you've decided that here in mid-year, you need to get these under control right now, this is very simple to do. It is not going to take you that much time. It's very easy to do, very simple to do, and you can have your math and literacy centers pretty much organized in a weekend if you just sit down and get it done. The first thing you need to be thinking about is how you're going to keep all the pieces of a specific center together. Now, we know, and if you have been around here very long, you know I am all about keeping it stinking simple. You could go and buy elaborate cases and elaborate things to keep your math and literacy centers in, but I am all about the Ziploc bag. Yes, now I'm going to go ahead and grab one, because this Ziploc bag right here, I love to grab just gallon Ziploc bags, just like this one. And you'll see this has it's got a center cover in it right now, but I love gallon Ziploc bags. And here's why. Number one, they're cheap. And some of you may be saying, oh my gosh, Ziploc bags are not cheap. But I have a hint for where you can get these at a pretty decent price. But the other thing I like about them is they're so super simple for kids to use. Kids know how to use a Ziploc, even my kindergartners. And yes, as you go through the year, these are what are in the student's hands. So this is what the student is actually going to be pulling their center out of and using during centers. And so these can get ripped, and they're putting things back in them and they can get ripped. But they're super simple and easy for the kids if you set up some sort of station or set up a box of these somewhere where the kids can go grab another one and they can replace them very simply and very easily. And it takes that duty off of your plate. So my tip for getting these super, super reasonable is to grab them at your local restaurant supply store. Now, yes, you could purchase them off of Amazon in bulk, but definitely buy them in bulk. But my favorite place to get them is restaurant supply stores because they seem to have the best price per unit on these when I buy large boxes. And some of you may be thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not going to need 500 of these. Believe it or not, you might. And so I definitely recommend going ahead and buy them, because you can use them at home. You can use them in your classroom. There's other things you can use them for. You're never going to have too many of these Ziploc bags. So with these Ziploc bags, not only are you going to be keeping the actual center in them, but you are going to be keeping all of the center pieces in it. For example, here is a center, and this is from my math and literacy bundles. I believe this one is for first grade. This is one of the first grade centers. But this particular center, and inside this, you are going to keep the cover for the center. If you're using my centers, you're going to keep the cover of the center, and then you're going to keep all of your pieces inside this as well. So these little cards are going to go in here, and all the pieces to the center are going to go in here. But then there's another size bag that I'm going to recommend that you get as well. I'm going to recommend that you pick up some quart size bags also. And here's why. Now, these aren't too small, but some centers are going to have pieces that are maybe smaller than this. So these little center cards, these little cards that they match are not really that small. And so typically I might just throw these in the center in the big bag. But some centers have small pieces. So you're going to want maybe some quart size bags for you to keep some of these smaller pieces in. And so I don't have one with me right now, but the quart size bag, and then put any smaller pieces inside the quart size bag. And then that bag goes inside the big bag. So that's just another tip. All right. So the next tip I want to share with you is all this stuff that is in this bag. You want it to last. Now, while the bag may be something that you can replace very easily, and even the smaller bag, and if you set a station up for your students to go grab another bag and replace it quickly and easily, you are going to want to make sure that the actual center lasts for a while, because you are putting your hard work into creating the center. You've spent money printing either on colored paper or printing in color, and you want that to last. So my next tip is laminate all the things. Laminate, 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 laminate. And I'm going to go one step further and say, if at all possible, do not use the laminating that your school provides. I know teachers already spend so much out of their pocket, but I'm going to tell you that this is going to save your sanity, and your sanity is worth so much. I don't know about you, but I will spend some money if it's going to save my sanity. So what I suggest you do is I suggest that you purchase 5 mil laminating sheets. Yes, I said 5 mil. They are going to be hard, they're going to be sturdy, and they're going to be thick. Now, my laminating machine that I purchased was just a personal laminating machine, and it was a Scotch brand. It's in the drawer behind me, so but I think it's a Scotch brand. And I got it off of Amazon for about $30. Well, let me rephrase it. I didn't actually purchase the first one I purchased. The second one was a parent gift. When I got asked, I was like, I need a new laminating machine. But the laminating sheets themselves, if you can find an office supply, one of the bigger office supply or paper goods supplier, oftentimes you can get those laminating sheets for very, very, very cheap. And just like the Ziploc bags, you're going to need a lot of them. So make sure you just purchase as many as you can and as many as you can afford. But if you are not able to purchase in bulk and in big bulk all at once, then oftentimes I could find them at Sam's or Costco, and they were very reasonably priced for a large box of about $2.50. You can also find really great deals on Amazon when they go on sale, and so they're comparable, if not cheaper, to what you can get at Costco or Sam's. Another reason I love laminating is because the kids can use dry erase markers to mark on them, and then they easily wipe off. So if you get the 3 mil, once they've wiped off a couple of times, you start to see a film or a coloring coming on your lamination. And yes, they can be cleaned, but then you're putting spray on them to clean them. And so sometimes it can seep between the laminating film, and it just starts to degrade the quality of the lamination. By using the 5 mil, you're going to get a lot longer wear out of it, and they're going to clean easier, and you're going to get a lot longer use out of them when you're cleaning them. And especially right now with COVID and having to do all the sanitizing in our classrooms, I had a teacher in my membership that just did the 3 mil for her first round. And by the end of the first month of centers, she was like, I'm going to have to remake them all because I've had to sanitize so much that the 3 mil lamination didn't hold up. And so the second month, she found the 5 mil, she did them in 5 mil, and she was like, oh, by the end of the month, they still looked like they were brand new. So she was super excited to go to the 5 mil. So that is definitely something that I recommend. My next tip for how to organize your center is those iris boxes. Now, I know we've all seen them. We've seen them at Hobby Lobby. We've seen them at Michael's. We've seen them online on Amazon. My best tip ever is these iris boxes. Now, the iris boxes that I recommend, and pay no attention to the things I have written on here, I use this for so many demonstration purposes, are the 12 by 12. And I don't know if you can kind of see it's messing with my screen, but the 12 by 12 iris box. And I use the one that is about, I would say that's about 2.5, probably 3 inches. It's probably a 3-inch thick. Now, I use these for storing my centers for the entire month. Okay. Now, for example, if I was to open this right now, and you can kind of see in there a little bit, I want to hold it up. You can see all those sheets in there. All of those bags in there are for one single month's worth of centers. Okay. Now, so there's a whole bunch of these. I have found that I typically can get about 30 of these bags inside one of those boxes. And that's with pieces, with center pieces in them. So I can get about 30 bags inside there with the center pieces. I love those boxes. And here's why I love them. They last forever. They literally last forever. I had a set of 24. I had 12 for my literacy centers and 12 for my math centers, one for every month of the year. And you wouldn't even have to do one for every month if you don't want to do, if you're not a year-round school and you just want to do it for the months that you're in school. But I had 12 for literacy, 12 for math, and I had those, and I had them for about 5 years. And when I left the classroom, I gifted all of my classroom things to an incoming brand new teacher, and she still has them and she's still using them. And that was 4 years ago. I can't remember now. It's been so long. So they last forever. They clean easily. You can write on them. And that's what you're seeing there on the lid. I'm actually writing the supplies that were inside, that were needed for centers and stuff. Because I also use these for the actual center that the student is going to be using. And when I use them for that, I'm going to put whatever center they're working on for that particular center that day. And then inside the box, I can also keep any supplies, any manipulatives or anything like that they're going to need for that specific center. And this is going to cut down on disruptions, and it's going to cut down on them having to get up and go get things that they might need. I just put them all in the box. But when you're organizing your centers and you're getting things ready so that things are quick to switch out and you can get to things easily when you're switching your centers out, I had 12 for literacy, 12 for math. And then I labeled each one of them with a label like these. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. These are my center organization labels for the 12 by 12 iris boxes. And let me jump over here so I can scroll through them. And you can see that I had, they would just say January, February, March, April, May, June, math centers, and so forth. But also inside this, this download, you'll get the pieces for the ends. And the reason I love this is because not only would I put the main tag up on the top of the box, but then I got to find the front of the box. So on the front of the box, I would put the small tag right here so that when I had them stacked up on a shelf, then I could see easily which box I needed to grab. I'm going to leave a link to these so that you can jump over and you can check those out and you can grab those. That made it super, super simple. When I would switch out my centers, I could just go grab the box that I needed. I could switch the centers out, and then I would just put all the centers from the center itself. I would just grab it, put it back into the monthly box, grab a new one and put it in the center box. So the next tip that I want to share with you is assign center jobs. Now, I've talked about this before with regard to running your centers, but I'm talking about a center job of switching them out. So for example, make it somebody's job, make it a classroom helper's job to switch your centers out. So when it's time at the end of the week, they go around, they grab all the center boxes, they bring them to a central location like your teacher table, they open them up, they take all of the bags out, and then that gives you empty boxes. And if you already have the bags ready to go into the centers, like you already know which centers are going to go or replace them, you can have those ready to go to where they can even put them in for you. And then they simply leave the centers someplace where you can put them up. Now, depending on what age your students are, your students might be able to actually go ahead and reorganize and sort those, because trust me, we always have that one student who is like super organized and they love office supplies. So they're like a teacher at heart. They're little bitty mini me, and they can find the boxes that you need to put the centers back into. And so that's something that you might think about, because it's just going to take one more thing off your plate. So make sure that you are using your students wherever possible to take things off of your plate. My next tip is get digital. There is no better way to be organized and not have stuff everywhere than to go digital. There's a reason that so many teachers are trying to go paperless, and digital centers are a great way to do that, because at that point, you're organizing files. That's what you're organizing. Now, a lot of teachers still like that hands-on tactile learning that you get with center pieces and actual printable centers, and that's great. But take some work off your plate and maybe do half and half. Maybe do printable centers and digital centers. Or if you are virtually teaching, you can still do centers by using digital centers, and you can keep those organized just by organizing your files. And it's so easy to find and search for files. I wish a lot of times I could just walk up to my shelves and I could look up and I could just like, there was some sort of system where I could just type in a standard and it would just like light up the box that I needed to pull the center out of. And I think I need to invent something like that, right? I think that would be super, super cool. But going with digital centers is going to give you a little bit more control over organization, because again, you're just organizing files and they're super fun for your students. In fact, in the description, you can click the link to get a free sample of my digital centers. There is going to be a math and literacy for K, first, second, third, and fourth grade teachers for you to grab those, and you can try those digital centers out with your students if you're not already using digital centers. Now, if you're looking for more tips, strategies, and simple systems to take back into your classroom to make your teacher life easier, check out the videos on our screen. Thanks for watching, and keep being an educational rock star.